King Charles III is the address chosen by the new British king, which immediately raises the question, who were his predecessors, Charles I and Charles II? King Charles I is recorded as the only British monarch to have been executed. Charles was born in 1600 as the second son of James VI of Scotland and Anne of Denmark. When his eldest brother, Prince Henry, died of typhus, Charles gained sight of two thrones, those of England and Scotland. He became king in 1625. Charles was a product of his time and aimed for absolute power, which, combined with the enforcement of his Anglican faith, did not go down well with his subjects and parliament. Charles was accused of being a tyrant. His marriage to the Roman Catholic Henrietta Maria of France only added fuel to the fire. The monarchy and parliament were on a collision course on several occasions, and several civil wars broke out. In 1642, Charles was arrested and imprisoned. However, the king refused to agree to the installment of a constitutional monarchy. Consequently, the king was accused of treason, put on trial, and was sentenced to death on January 27, 1649. The execution of Charles was an extraordinary event. The winter of January 1649 was quite cold. Parts of the River Thames were frozen. Charles demanded 2 shirts from the chamberlain assisting him in his last moments. "The season is so cold," the king said. "It would make me shake, which some observers will imagine proceeds from fear. I would have no such impression. I fear no death." Once on the scaffold, Charles continued to defend himself and confidently called himself a martyr of the people. After the death of Charles I, the monarchy was disbanded and England became a republic. The king's eldest surviving son, Charles II, was 8 years old when the Civil War broke out and was sent to a safe location at The Hague. Although upon the death of his father Charles I, he became King Charles II of England, the actual power lay with Oliver Cromwell and Parliament, who took over the actual government of the country. In 1651, Charles II entered England from exile, but after losing the Battle of Worcester, he fled to France. After Cromwell's death in 1658, the English Republican experiment failed and Charles II was restored to the throne in exchange for a promise of amnesty and religious toleration for his former enemies. However, the reign of Charles II was not a great success. Although Charles was a clever man who possessed a great knowledge on various topics, he distracted himself too often in frivolous pursuits. He quickly amassed an enormous state debt due to unwise investments and wars. Especially the wars against the Netherlands cost England a lot of money. During the Dutch assault on Chatham, a large section of the Royal Navy was either captured or destroyed. There were few casualties, but the loss of the realm's largest warships brought humiliation to the country and damaged the personal reputation of King Charles II. But Charles had to deal with more setbacks during his reign. In 1665, a plague epidemic erupted in England, claiming many lives, and in the following year, London was ravaged by the Great Fire. In 1679, Parliament wished to exclude Charles's brother, James, the Duke of York and the later King James II, from the English throne due to his Roman Catholic faith, his favoring of monarchical absolutism, and his connections to France. A bill of exclusion was drafted and supported by a majority of parliamentarians, resulting in Charles dissolving Parliament. These events set in motion the historical events leading to the formation of the two-way party system and called into life the political parties known as the Whigs and the Tories. Charles married Catherine of Braganza in 1662. Sadly, the couple remained childless, but Charles acknowledged at least 12 children who were born from the king's relationships with a string of mistresses. The most famous mistress among them was the actress Nell Gwynn. Shortly before his death, Charles II converted to the Catholic faith. The king died of a stroke on February 6, 1685, and was buried at Westminster Abbey. He was succeeded by his brother James II. Thank you for watching.